Welcome back. My name is Dave and this is Fuzzee Tutorials. So we're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to go over the ultimate package system for a creator and your video studio. So this is going to have everything you need from start to finish, including all of your accessories. Let's get started. What we're looking at here is a system based on the new Ryzen 5900X, which is a 12-core processor. Now they do have the 5950, but there's just not really enough of a performance difference to justify the extra cost. As it is, you know, we're looking at $769 for this right now. This is going to give you really good performance, whether you are going to just be doing nothing but video editing and creation type stuff, or whether you're going to go into other types of workloads, or even if you're going to do gaming. For the money, you can't get any better than this, and Intel doesn't have anything that even comes close. And then to go with this CPU, we're going to need a AIO, or all-in-one liquid cooler. And the one I'm going with here, showing you here with this package, is the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2. It's a really good package. We'll just take a quick look at it, closer up. So now this one, there's no fancy RGB on it, but you could swap out the fans and put in RGB fans if you wanted to. Now, I'm not normally a fan of RGB stuff, but I recognize that a lot of people are. And if you're going to be using just one computer to do everything, then you might want to have some of that. So I've got some of that included further down. And then for a motherboard, we're looking at the Gigabyte Vision D80X motherboard. And the reason I went with this instead of the X570 chipset is this has got some features that just can't really be had at the moment on a X570. And you can see that right now, because stock is really hard to find, the price is really jacked up on this board. But if you wait a little bit until they come in stock, you can save about $300 on this board. Now, one of the reasons that I like this board is it's got built in everything you want as a creator. So it's got Thunderbolt 3 built in, and it's also got your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You've got one Gen 4 bus to run your NVMe out of. So I think this, for right now, this is about the best board for the money that you can get your hands on for this specific purpose. Okay, and for RAM, we're going with the G.Skill Trident Z RGB. I promise you there was a little RGB in here. And we're going with the 64 gig kit. Now, I know some people might say that that's overkill, but the price of memory these days and the fact that more and more applications want higher and higher amounts of RAM, I think this is a good option. Now, you could go with the 32 gigs and save some money, but I think by going with 64 and by using a kit that's only 2 sticks for that 64 gigs, it gives you expandability down the road. But this 64 gigs should do you for the next while anyway. When you're getting into some higher end video editing and dealing with 4K or maybe even 8K footage, you're going to really want that extra RAM, because it'll allow you to still have some other stuff running in the background other tools that you might need to use. And the reason I went specifically with G.Skill is they worked hand in hand with AMD to develop memory that is absolutely compatible and stable with AMD processors. And that's been proven out by many different both reviewers and people that are in business selling high-end systems to clients, and they really like the G.Skill memory. And it's got some pretty good specs. This is 3600 RAM because the new Ryzen series chips really like that faster memory. And CL18 for your latency, that's pretty darn good memory speed there. And then for your storage, we're looking at the Seagate BarraCuda 120. That's a 2 terabyte SSD. Now, we had a few choices for video cards. I know that most places the 3080s from NVIDIA are pretty hard to get your hands on, but Asus has one that it can be had right now, and I think it's a better choice for a creator build like this. As much as I like AMD, admittedly I'm a bit of an AMD fanboy, but when it comes to what's on offer right now, if you want a video card that's kind of a all-around, has all the features that you need, really this is the best one for you because it's got the built-in capture chip in it so that you can do your streaming if that's something that you want to do. And a lot of creators do streaming nowadays, so I think it's a good option. And if you're a gamer, then you really want to have that DLSS capability, which is your deep learning super sampling. So that what that allows you to do is play the game natively at, say, 1440p, and then it upscales it to 4K. And some of the newest high-end games, especially the ones with RTX, like the Cyberpunk 2077, for instance, you're going to need all the help you can get to run that at a decent frame rate. I know this isn't really a gaming-focused build, but if this is going to be your only system, you want something that can do it all. And really, this is the card for that. I apologize for the background noise coming in from outside, but as happens so often, it starts after I start recording. And unfortunately, I can't wait it out because I've got stuff coming up that I have to get done. So hopefully you can bear with me on this. I'll do my best to filter as much out of it as I can in post-processing, so hopefully it won't be too noticeable. Now, if just a final word about video card, if you think that you're going to really need the extra video RAM, then you may want to take a look at the AMD 6800 XT, because that comes with 20 gigabytes of RAM. That comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM. But I think with the speed of the CPU and the 64 gigs of RAM, I think this video card would be really all you need. And I went with the Fractal Design Meshify 2 mid-tower case. Let's take a quick look at it here. Now this case is really good for airflow and keeping your system cool, which with the components going into this is really a must. And this is one of the best rated, not the absolute top, but it's one of the best rated cases by Gamers Nexus. And they did extensive testing on just about all the popular cases out there. And the thing I like about this particular design is it's based on the Fractal Design 7, and it's got internally it's virtually identical. It's very high quality, very easy to work in, gives you lots of room for putting stuff together. So if we were to take a closer look, you can see how much room it's got inside for drives. I think you can put up to 13 drives in this. And it gives you so much room for cable management. And then for the power supply, I went with the Seasonic Prime Ultra Gold 850 watt. So that's an 80 plus gold certified. And I went with one that large because they've been finding with the 3080 video cards in high-end systems that sometimes when the card spikes on heavy workloads, it can still trip the power protection on a 750 watt. And this is one of the best 850 watt power supplies out there. So I think it's a really good choice. Alright folks, sorry for the break in the action there, but the noise outside just got too loud and I had to pause. Alright, so the next thing on the list here is a little bit of RGB bling with some fans. And I'm going here with the Lee & Lee Unifans. Now the really nice thing about these fans is they clip together. So you only have to have one set of wires coming off of these for every set. And I think you can put together as many as 4 fans in each group. And they're a pretty decent looking fan without being overpowering. It's just a nice little touch of RGB, and they're a good quality fan from what I understand. I haven't used them myself, of course, but all the reviews on them look really good. So we've got a set of those in there. Now this is a set up as a dual monitor system. So we've got a 43-inch 4K 120 hertz monitor as the main monitor. And again, this one's got really good reviews. It's a little on the pricey side, but for creators, I think something like this is really necessary because it's going to give you the correct color that you need, and yet it's fast enough that you can use it for gaming as well if that's your jam. And then the second monitor is a fairly basic, just 1080p 144 hertz monitor, 27 inch, which you can put vertical, and that can be really handy for creators for having extra tools on that monitor. And being that you can go vertical, that's handy if you're going to be doing streaming. So I think this is an all-around really good combo. And then the next thing we'll look at here is the keyboard. Now I went with a wireless keyboard, and this is a nice one. I've actually got one of these, although I've got the white one. So you can get them in both. So this has got solar cells across the top here, which keeps the rechargeable battery topped off. And I personally like the feel of the keys on this board, and it's a full featured keyboard. And I find that it's got a really low latency. So I think this is a keyboard that you'd really like. And now we'll take a look at the mouse option here. I'm a little biased, and I don't particularly like mice when there's other, in my view, better options out there. So this is the one that I use personally, and I've been using this one for, I guess 9 or 10 months. or thereabouts, and it's very, very nice and smooth and very configurable. And I've actually used Logitech trackballs of this style for over 20 years. And quite often I work in a more confined space, so I just don't have room to be moving a mouse around all the time. So by having a trackball like this, you don't have to keep moving your hand all over the place, and you can spin that ball very quickly with your thumb. It's very responsive, and it's the tracking speed and acceleration and those types of features are very, very good. And now if you go up, and this one's actually pretty inexpensive. Now if you move up to the next model up from this, the scroll wheel is kind of neat because it's got, on the higher end one, you can actually go side to side with it. You can just touch the side of it, put a little pressure, and then you can do horizontal scrolling. I didn't know that was available when I bought this one, or I probably would have got it instead. But it is almost double the price, so, and it's got some extra buttons, and the switches are a little higher quality. But I have no issues with the quality of this trackball whatsoever. I absolutely love it. And I would never go back to a mouse. You know, I have mice on my tech bench that I use with client systems sometimes, and I just absolutely hate it. I quite often just grab my dongle off my laptop and stick it in the client's computer so I can use my trackball and keyboard there. So I think if you were to give one of these a try, you would never go back to a mouse. Okay, and because a creator needs to be able to really have good quality audio, and I felt that we were probably going to be looking at a person who's going to need to deal with surround sound. So now I've never personally used these speakers, but the reviews on them are very good, and they're at a pretty good price point. So they are full 5.1 surround, and if you're going to be using what I use for video editing, which is DaVinci Resolve Studio, I'm now using the new version 17, and it has full support for dealing with surround sound in it. And I've had Logitech speakers before, and they've always been very good. I just haven't had this particular set. And for the level of quality, you know, $420 is pretty good. I just wanted to mention that the prices you see listed on here in green, they're the ones that they're currently available to buy. Some of this stuff, for some reason, isn't coming up, even though if you go to the website, it is available. So I'm not sure why it's not available through Parts Picker, but I have included the tax for these particular items here. And so the tax you see added on at the bottom of the list here is only calculated on the ones in green. Okay, so the next item on the list here, now this is something that most creators are going to need, and that is a high quality microphone. Now there are less expensive options than going with this style of a microphone. However, this particular system I'm talking about today is really the high-end system. It's got kind of the, not the most expensive of everything, but the best of quality in its class of the different items listed here. And I want to talk a bit about this microphone. Just give me a second to find it here. Now, I haven't personally got one of these yet, but I've watched a lot of reviews on this microphone, and this microphone came out a little over a year ago, and the people that designed and build this they're in the US, and their entire goal was to match a particular high-end microphone that's been in the industry for 50 years, I guess, and they wanted to build something modern that could replicate the same level of audio quality. And by all accounts, this is equal to the, what's the name of it now? I believe it's a Neumann microphone that normally runs for about $3,000 US. So this microphone, I believe, is in US dollars. I think it's 149 or something like that. This price, it's a little high right now because they're hard to get. They can only make so many of them because they make them by hand, and every single mic is fully tested before it goes out the door. And the shipping to Canada right now is pretty expensive. So and right now just about anything related to YouTube or streaming or work from home type of professional level items is really expensive at the moment. So there may be less expensive options for you to look at, but you'll see that it comes with a nice shock mount and a pop filter, and of course the main microphone, carrying a little bag for it, as well as a really nice carrying case. And I don't remember exactly what the warranty coverage is on this, but I remember it. It's really good. So I think right now, for this level of quality, for a large 1-inch condenser mic, this is a cardioid pattern, the polar pattern. And now this is a XLR mic, so you can't just plug this straight into the computer. You need to plug it into an audio interface, but we'll cover that in a moment. Now there is a less expensive option for you to look at, and it is a really good mic. Now this is this Audio-Technica 2100. This is both USB and XLR. And if we look here, you can see that you can plug in your USB and go direct to the computer, or you can plug a line out, or you can plug in a set of headphones to monitor it, or you can go XLR. Now, once again, this mic does need external power, so if you're going to plug something in here and use it this way, you still have to provide power through the USB. And if you're hooked up XLR through an audio interface, it has to be an audio interface that has phantom power. And the same would be true for the mic we were just looking at too. And as you can see, the price is a lot less expensive, and you don't have the extra stuff you have to buy. This mic even comes with the cable, so it comes with the XLR cable and the USB cable, as well as a basic mic stand. Where the other one, you'd have to get all that stuff extra. And the next thing that we've got on the list here is a microphone stand. So this is something that if you're going to get the Stellar X2, the first microphone I showed you, you're going to want to get one of these arms to mount it on. And this comes with a little better quality pop filter than the one that comes with the microphone. And it even comes with an extra one of these as well. And this is an adapter. So it'll accommodate the different types of microphones. They basically come in two flavors for the thread pattern. And you've also got some tie-down straps to cable manage. and this one will handle quite a bit of weight. You know, it's not the highest quality one out there, but it's a reasonable level quality and it'll get the job done. And there's arms out there that cost a whole lot more money, and I don't really see them being that much better. So then the next thing we're looking at here is, this is your audio interface, and this is actually a bundle, so it comes with a good quality XLR patch cable. Let's take a little closer look at it here. Now this has actually got 2 inputs available on it. It's only got one microphone input, but it does have another line in, so you could plug in a guitar or even another different type of microphone that's not XLR. And it comes with the XLR cable. And when you buy this, it also comes with some really nice software for controlling stuff. And you can also plug in a set of headphones. And if you see that little 48V button there, that's your power, your phantom power. And you can turn that off or on depending on the type of mic you have. Not all mics need phantom power. And you can control your gain, and you notice that the light around this is green and the one right next to it here is red. But this one here, when you're testing the mic, as you're turning it up, if it turns red, that means that you're clipping your audio. So that's kind of a handy feature. And I believe the same is true of this line in as well. And the reviews on this are very, very good. You know, obviously it's not going to be the same quality level as a $1,200 audio interface, but this is rated very highly, and I think it's a really good starting point. So the next thing we've got on the list here is a webcam. So this webcam is the AverMedia Cam 513, or the PW513 model number. And it is a little on the pricey side, but it is 4K, and this is wide angle. So this actually has a 94-degree viewing angle, and I've seen the reviews on this where they compared it to the Logitech Brio as well as a couple others, and this was by far the best thing going. And it is a little pricey, but I think it's really the best option if you're going to buy a dedicated webcam. And it's not really much more than the Logitech Brio, which is also a 4K. Now, personally, I think another good option if you don't want to drop a bunch of money on something like this is you could look at using your smartphone. And I'm actually using a smartphone right now. I'm using an iPhone 11, and I've got a piece of software on there that lets me use it as such. And this one you can use either wireless or you can wire it in directly. So I use the cable because it gives me a lot less latency. Now, if you're using something like this for with OBS or something like that, you're going to need to do some testing and find out how much of a delay you need to put in for the video so that it matches up with the audio. Depending on what I'm running, like right now for this, I'm using a 200 millisecond delay. I find when I'm doing tutorials with DaVinci Resolve, I need a 500 millisecond delay. It's an app that you put on the phone. They do have a free version, but it only goes up to 720p. And so I paid for the pro version, and it's worth absolutely every penny. I think it was about actually 12 bucks Canadian or thereabouts. And I will put the name of that software down in the description. And I'm also going to be doing a tutorial on this subject of using the different things you can do with your smartphone when it comes to doing videos. So I'll be covering in more detail what that software is and how to use it and the different things you can use it for, as well as a few other things. That video should be coming out in the next week to 10 days or so, hopefully before the new year rolls around. The next thing on the agenda to look at here is some lighting. Now, if you are using like a smartphone like this, especially the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 12, they have excellent low light capabilities. I'm not actually using any special lighting, and my lighting isn't too bad. I'm just using, I've got all the lights turned on and an extra lamp reflecting off the wall. But really, if you don't have if in particular you don't have an iPhone 11 or 12 with the really good low light capabilities, you're going to definitely want to get yourself a good lighting kit. And I did quite a bit of research, and this is really about the best deal that I've found. And this is a really good kit because you can adjust it. You can adjust your light intensity level so it's dimmable. And I think you can run it down as low as 10%. And it's got these add-on soft boxes that you can put on. It's also got the barn doors. And one little note, if you do get these, some people were noticing that you can't tip it very far before it hits one of the barn doors, but it's actually got another set of mounting holes in the light itself. So if you just pull these off and put it in the other set of holes, then it gives you the extra clearance on the brackets that you need. And it comes with some nice carrying cases, and it also comes with these stands. And of course there's 2 of them in the kit. And these are rated very high, and there's your adjustments on the back, so you can adjust it between 2600 Kelvin and 5200 Kelvin, I believe. So you can go from like a full daylight type of light down to a soft room light type of a look and feel for it. So I think this is really about the best option for a decent quality set of lights. I'll leave links to all this stuff down in the description. And full disclosure, they are going to be affiliate links, so if you do buy this stuff with those links, I'll make a few bucks, but you still get the same great price. And that helps me out a little bit. And then the last item on the list here is a tripod. Here we are. I've actually got this tripod. I'm using it right now while I'm doing this video. So that's what my cell phone is mounted on. And now it's not the highest quality, but it does the job well, and you know, it's not a piece of junk. It's a little, some of the joints in it are a little bit loose, so if you bump it, the phone or camera could shift a tiny bit, but not a big deal, just don't bump it. And for the money, I think it's really good. It also comes, if you notice here, it comes with a remote control. And this remote works really well, so you can use it to either snap pictures or start and stop video recording. And it packs up into a pretty small package, and I like it. So when you look at the total package price here, and this is in Canadian dollars, so this is a fair chunk of change, admittedly, but you've got a lot of equipment here, and obviously you don't have to get the whole package, you just get the parts of it that you need. But I wanted to put together a really complete package that gives you everything you need to get rolling, from the computer to the microphone and the lighting and everything. Now, is there other stuff you could add to this? Well, certainly. Something you might want to look at adding is some hard drives for backup storage. And if you're doing a lot of video creation stuff, especially in 4K, then the 2 terabytes this comes with is not going to be enough. It'll be enough to get you started, but you're going to quickly run out of space if you're doing a lot of 4K stuff. Now, if you're local to my area and you're so inclined, I could build this system for you if it's not something you're comfortable with doing yourself. But I will say it's not something I really am focusing on. I'll do it for my viewers if they need me to, but I'm not cheap. I've been building computers for almost 30 years. I'm very good at it. I have a really good attention to detail. I make sure everything's working and cable managed and put together the right way. But over and above the price for the parts here, I would also have to cover shipping to get the parts shipped to me, which usually runs a couple $100. And actually with this, all the extra stuff on here, over and above just a normal computer system, the shipping is probably going to be closer to about $300 altogether by the time the smoke clears. And then I charge another $500 to put it together. But that includes installing the software that you need and doing the burn-in testing to make sure it's a good solid system. And if you're interested in how I put systems together, I've got a tutorial series of 4 videos where I build a system for one of my viewers. It was a Ryzen 3700X with 32 gigs of RAM and an AMD 5500 XT video card. You might want to check that out if you want to get an idea of how I put a system together. And I encourage you to check out my website. I've got all kinds of resources there to help you learn how to set up your YouTube channel if you've got one, how to customize it, and of course I've got all kinds of tutorials with more coming every week. And I've got a few other resources on there. I've got parts reviews and stuff. So you can find that at fuzzyd.ca. So if you like what we're doing here, make sure you give me that thumbs up. And if you don't like what I'm doing, well, the other one works too. And if you want to keep seeing more content from me, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.